Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fourth developer playthrough of Entropy Zero Uprising. I am Spoops VA, the voice actor of Bloody Cop, who you will see quite soon, and with me are the two lead developers of Entropy Zero Uprising, Employee 8 and Philipad.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's just go. We are here where we left off last time.
Let's keep going.
Let's just go.
As we use a casual,
that will happen.
on a casual trip through the countryside. This is just the usual public transportation, nothing to worry about.
I mean, that train. Okay, I can actually talk a bit about this train crash. Kind of weird that it has lore, but originally you were supposed to like jump down on these tracks from there, and then the train would crash, and then so it was completely different, and it was bad. And we never implemented it because I realized it's weird and stupid, and so we changed it to this.
Yeah, we kind of didn't even know how to begin with trying to stop the train with the APC. Like, first we had to assume that the player would stand in the way of the train. So that was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Officer in trouble. 2810 requesting assistance.
I like the slapping sound. Just so
Definitely.
just so out of place. I don't know. So this is now the third and final dream.
There he is. Well, there I am, actually.
Yeah, but only if you have not consumed any water. And so, of course, this line is already foreshadowing a later scene.
Indeed.
As well as the water, so you can kind of tell something's coming. This visual thing right here was inspired by a Steam banner. That's just some random fact. I don't know. It goes to show that you can kind of get the weirdest inspirations from the weirdest places. And yeah. Oh yeah, another thing about these scenes is the time of day, which shows when each dream takes place chronologically. So the first dream was at noon. The second dream was at night, and the third dream was in the evening, so that means the first dream is the first one in the chronological order, and the third dream is the second one, and the second dream is the last one. This doesn't mean that they're all on the same day, of course, but it does mean that like it's a way to show the passage of time. Yeah. He just awkwardly waves his hand.
Okay, bye. Just leave.
Yeah, I feel like this dream is the most cryptic one. Like, there's a lot of...
There's a clock, so, it's pretty obvious it's supposed to be a passage of time.
Yeah, but still, it's like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, it's just connecting all the pieces. Like, these sequences were added in later on as well. We'll get to that when we talk about how we revisited the endings after Playtest feedback was a bit harsh on them. Alright, and now we're finally into chapter 4.
And this is where most people will get introduced to Bloody Cop.
Exactly. So, these lines originally... Okay, so originally Bloody Cop was supposed to be voiced by Trevi. He didn't have the time. And so this was way before. Like, way before we even had any lines written for him. But then Trevi couldn't do it for time reasons. Trevi later then voiced Victor 60. Because Victor doesn't have a lot of lines. But there were some placeholder lines by me, and I believe you actually used them to imitate the first few lines, if I remember correctly. I don't know, maybe you want to talk about how you voiced Bloody here.
Yes, I remember, I believe it was around April of last year when I joined the Entropy Zero Uprising team to voice Bloody Cop.
Well, it was 2 years ago. Last year we released in April.
Oh, not 2023, 2022.
Yeah.
But April nonetheless, but yes. April 2022, around that time was the time I joined to voice Bloody Cop. And surprisingly enough, it was one of my first actual voice acting roles. Like, I hadn't done much beforehand, and I'd say for a first time thing, I think I did a decent job. Like, obviously, I've improved over time, but like I still hold this role very near and dear to my heart just because of how it got everything started for me, and the way we like narrowed down how Bloody Cop would sound like it was like that was fun. Because I remember when I was talking with employee about it, we had to like figure out like what tone Bloody Cop's voice would take, and like it was actually 3 times. It was actually 3rd time's the charm. One was too soft, like the first tone of voice I did was a bit too soft. The other one was a bit too gruff. Then the 3rd one was it's what you hear now. The 3rd one is the tone of voice that Bloody Cop has in here and will continue to have in episode 2.
I've got better things to do. Sent and delivered. Oh, $11.99. $11.99. Officer needs assistance. That one's mine. I've got better things to do. You're mine. $11.99. $11.99. Officer needs assistance. These things just keep getting uglier. I've got better things to do. $11.99. $11.99. Officer needs assistance. It's not too late to run. Coward.
Yeah, I think the 3rd one is actually, the 3rd attempt was actually also used in game for one of the voice lines. So.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just.
I think it's a random response system line, but yeah, it's used. I think.
Like, call it lazy, call it resourceful. I don't know, but it worked, so I just thought to keep it. There's no point in recording a new version.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
if you've already got a good take, then why waste it? So. Yeah,
exactly. And like the other thing was, of course, like finding a vocode. Of course, in the end, we went with basically the vocode the CW3D uses for Beck.
Yeah.
And do other cops in this game use it, or is it only Beck and Bloody?
It's only Beck and Bloody. Right. So Blue Soldier has his own vocoder. We don't even have access to those. So all the lines like Distress Cop and Delete Cop and whoever else, those use his vocoder. And then for the Traitor Lead, we use a mix out of the Bad Cop vocoder and some grunt vocoder or something. That one is also pretty interesting. I'll have to get back on that. But yeah, so it's the only Beck and Bloody are the only 2 who use that vocoder.
Yeah, I quite like how it sounds. Like it makes Bloody sound like I'd say sometimes it makes Bloody sound straight up demonic. Sometimes that might be some cases that might be a bit too much, but I do think it works for the most part with Bloody just because of how much of a fucking psychopath he can be.
Yeah,
absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Also, one thing that I would also like to point out is that sometimes I'm like, for me personally, like I think this is just me most of the time. Sometimes I just find him hard to understand, as in he doesn't sound human. But I think it's mostly just his vocoder. But I think that actually works for him as a character, because it dehumanizes him even more, which is exactly what we are going for.
Yeah, like on the topic of like being hard to understand sometimes, that's one of the biggest problems with actually voice acting, like voice acting with my setup as it is, because it's very much not professional. It's like I'm just recording from my bedroom. I've got my computer tower. It's just this loud humming sound, and like I've got to hope that noise reduction can cancel it out, because otherwise you can just hear it in the background all the bloody time. And sometimes it just like you've also another thing with the vocoder is that you've got to like increase your audio. You've got to like shout a little bit because you need to make it peak. Well, not peak, but it needs to be loud for it to still be legible after the vocoding's done.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, like mix that together, and sometimes takes just come out complete nonsense. But when it does come out, even if it's like hard to understand, like it sounds great. It just sounds great, and with how inhumane Buddy Cop is, like even if he is a bit hard to understand, it adds to the character, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like he has anything meaningful to add anyway, so...
Yeah, he's not like the deepest character in any Half-Life media.
Yeah, he's not that bright, so...
His simplicity is part of the charm.
Exactly, yeah, he's like... He's the ruggish brute. Like there's probably little bits here and there, but it doesn't matter in the end. All that matters to him is just complete... unwavering, unquestioning loyalty to the Combine. Like, if you want actual death, like Bex, more along the lines of what you go to, or probably Victor, actually, because he does have a decent bit of character to him.
Yeah, and that's pretty. Like, I'm pretty happy with how Victor turned out in this mod. Because Victor is like he has like 20 lines at most, maybe, or well, I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of character-defining voice lines, but all of his actions are through flashbacks, and I'm pretty happy with that way of storytelling.
Yeah, it's like I love how like out of all the voice lines, so little of them actually focus on like backstory or anything like that. It's all show. Like it's all show. Like you get to see it firsthand. It's all hints at. And it's like it just leads to so much speculation. Like I know I'm biased because I'm voice acting for it, but I love how this mod's come out so far. It's like from episode 1, and of course I can't talk about it, but from what I've seen of episode 2 so far, like you are, like if you've enjoyed episode 1, like if you're watching this, if you've enjoyed episode 1, you are gonna love episode 2. I there's no doubt about it in my eyes.
Yeah, well, we certainly hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, we can only hope. Yeah, the most part you can only hope right now, but I do think it's coming along quite nicely. Yeah. Like I won't talk about it, obviously, because spoilers. But I just got finished recording something that is most people aren't probably not going to see, but I really like. It's a really nice little detail. I won't say anything about it, but you'll see. If you see it, you'll see it.
I think it's safe to say that in episode 2 there will be much more character development.
Oh, absolutely.
For Bloody, definitely, yeah. I mean,
for Bloody,
just more expansion,
definitely.
More expansion over the board for everyone.
Yeah,
like it's just
as well. But I mean, especially for Bloody, because Bloody, like he's only used for 3 maps, maybe 2 if you kill him on the second one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like episode 1 doesn't give him much wiggle room. He's just like he's there. He's a bit of an arsehole, but he's a good killer. But of course, like an entire episode with him by your side, that's going to give a lot more chance for death and exploration.
His
even if he is inherently,
even
if he is an inherently simple character. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no, I was interrupting you. No worries. But yeah, even his response system here is pretty basic. So like, I think he only has 40 to 60 lines for his response system. Meanwhile, Beck has 100 in episode 1, I think. And so in episode 2, we really expand on that. But we shouldn't probably talk about episode 2. That has its own place later on, hopefully. I want to get back on track on the mapping section here.
We'll say episode 2 for nearer the end, where we're talking about the future and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So this entire area here is, of course, so this entire area was originally done by Philippad, in like midway through 2021, I think, and then I later picked it up and continued from I believe about here. So that's pretty interesting because like the start of the map was done pretty early on, but then we just, I don't know, it just never went anywhere.
Yeah, I kind of stopped. I wasn't sure where to go with this. I mean, we discussed like the general idea how it should look like, but I just wasn't sure how to get to it, how to just start.
Yeah. I mean, but
But
now
I
I'm pretty
think
happy with
that-
chapter 4. Like, I think it's my favorite chapter in terms of like the vibe. Just looking at like this view here, it's not much. It's pretty simple, but I feel that something about it feels very believable, and I'm pretty happy with that. So
Not every day you see City 17 at night.
yeah,
It's not a usual sight.
yeah. So a little trick here is about like player direction and stuff. So there's a lamp here, of course, for one, which draws the attention to it. But then the doors also slightly open ajar so that you can actually see that you're supposed to go through here. That's just a little trick that was used here, because I think at some point someone got kind of lost in this area. Oh yeah, this area is also based like on a real location of yeah, so it's based on a real location that I got from Google Maps. And it's pretty interesting how it compares, and I think that kind of helps make this particular section feel believable. And yeah, I don't know, I'm really happy with like these walkways here. So yeah. Oh yeah, another thing I just noticed. So there's this little projected texture that's parented to the player, which highlights my surroundings. So because it was pretty difficult to see in the dark, and
Yeah, I remember that some players complained about it
yeah,
being in pitch dark.
So we got that. I'm not sure if it's like the exact values or something, but like setup wise, it's very similar to the one seen in Beef Bacon's Traders, which is a Maplabs entry for Companionville 2, which was a huge inspiration, and I would definitely recommend you check it out. It's a great map.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see a lot of inspiration in this chapter.
Yeah.
To traitors. We talked about how. I talked about. I had an idea where there was. I wanted to make an escort mission with a twist where it was the NPC escorting you instead of how it usually is, where you escort the NPC. So the idea was that basically the idea was that you were hurt, like in the final version, and you were very limited in defending yourself, and you would have to rely on Bloody Cop to protect you. Except Bloody Cop wouldn't care at all, because he's Bloody Cop. He's he's too badass to care for others. So what you would have to do, you would have to try to stay as close to him as possible and kind of push him and force him to fight the enemies for you.
Yeah.
And you can see that we kinda sorta did it. It's not on such a scale that I planned initially, since there is only one sequence where you kind of run away from zombies. It's about it's going to happen right now, but yeah, I'm kind of happy how it turned out. It's kind of simple, but it was a fun idea to try.
Yeah, and I think it's lengthwise it's okay. It's not too long, I would say.
Yeah, better to be short than to overstay its welcome.
Yeah. And like, I think it's still a pretty cool section because you can actually choose your own path, so you can either go through where we just went through, or you can actually go here. And this area used to be a bit different as well. I think there was a rebel brute standing here.
Oh yeah.
And there was also a
this guy used
revolver
to
you
be
could
alive.
get, which there's no revolver here anymore, but that's why there's a revolver crate, like a 357 ammo crate later on. That's because you actually could get the revolver, but now you can't anymore. The crate is just obsolete. So,
Oh yeah, and also you used to have your jump disabled throughout this map.
yeah, I mean it is
But
still
now,
disabled if you're below 10 health at the beginning. But yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
So-
disabled initially, so you can't go back.
So you can't sprint.
can't climb up.
You can't sprint below 20 health, but you can. And you can't jump below 10 health. So yeah, that's how that works. Yeah, I think this overall this path is nicer looking. And yeah, you can see these little propaganda pieces spread throughout this chapter to really like. We're going into the finale and like the conclusion of the private reserve feature, and so just because chapter 3 didn't really focus as much on the water, but now it's back. You're back in the city and stuff, and you're gonna have a real bad flashback, and so we put in these early warnings. Yeah, I'm also pretty happy with this camp. It's a little storytelling thing, where you can kind of tell what happened here just by looking at the environment. And yeah. And I didn't do my job.
Yeah, so about that escort mission, it's kinda it's not as that refined as I wanted it to be. Bloody Cop is still mortal. He's still going to die if you don't watch each other backs, let's say. Usually he runs all the way to the end unharmed, but sometimes a zombie can catch him.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if it's still working, but you used to be able to just skip this dialogue. And yeah, okay. Just by doing that. Maybe should we listen to the entire dialogue? I'm not sure if it's really necessary. Like, I don't know. I guess you can see like the details on the monitor here. This is like the mall and stuff, and it's daytime still, so these aren't live pictures, of course. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in short, Bloody Cup is saying that you screwed up, and it's just kind of saying it's all your fault
Yeah,
for some
exactly.
reason.
It's
He's
just
he's just being a bully again.
yeah. I mean, it's just a way to characterize him and also reinforce what you like, reinforce your actions, and so yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can actually attack any of the zombies here early, and Bloody will be mad at you. Oh my. I'm sure people who died here did that, so you can just do that. I think actually doing that makes it easier, because you're not getting,
You're not getting swarmed.
yeah. But yeah, this courtyard I feel like still iconic. I mean, it's used in the main menu, maybe that's why. But yeah.
Yeah, it used to be used as a background map.
Another thing I kind of want to point out here, you might have noticed that Bloody refers to Beck always as 28, and only as Beck when Beck is around. And that is intentional, so it's kind of supposed to show that Bloody doesn't really respect Beck's choice to use his real name. So whenever Beck's not around, he's gonna say 28 or 2810. And yeah, it's just the little things, and I feel like it makes it more believable.
It's a subtle. It's pretty subtle.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people caught it, but yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think I caught that.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you recorded lines, you wouldn't really know when Beck is around, I guess. Depends.
Yeah.
There were a lot of details that I didn't even catch before until employee told me directly. So there was a lot to find out.
But yeah.
Actually, I believe the lines about getting 28 out were recorded after the majority of the lines for episode 1.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, exactly. I think playtesters were kind of confused or something, because like they didn't really understand why Bloody was doing what he was doing, and so we added that later on. It might also not have been playtesters. It might have just been a thing that we noticed. But yeah.
Yeah, but even if it's a bit like even if it's a small detail, it does add context to like what's about to happen.
Yeah. Bloody's just gonna waste an entire squad just to get one unit out. Oh yeah. Old squad leader expired. I wonder who that could be.
Yes, she expired. You can't see me, but I'm using my fingers as air quotes.
But yeah, originally this wasn't even supposed to be an intentional reference, because when that line was recorded, the traitor lead was still a male character. It was more so a reference to just the fact that Bloody could have been female, because we were asking for voice actors and voice actresses, and whoever got the role would have decided the gender of Bloody. In retrospect, I don't know why we did that. I feel like Bloody is a very male character, but he wasn't as defined back then, so I think it could have worked. And so that's one thing. Oh yeah.
I mean, probably because we didn't want to be picky about voice actors.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of voice actresses around in like the modding space for Half-Life at least.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate, but there is the voice actor for the traitor lead, Mazakine. She has done a great job so far.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually, now that I think about it, I wish she was here. Maybe she could have added something to say.
Maybe we can have her along in the next developer commentary, even if that does end up only being for episode 2.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe we can get her on. I don't know.
It would be great.
Maybe we could do like a post game dev commentary, just talking about things we do differently, things that like just funny moments from development time, just things like that.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, we will see. Like, if there will be anything left to talk about.
Yeah, there's the Strider. The Strider is, of course, also important to all the endings, because it appears in all the endings. And yeah, you can already see the mall back there. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with the street still. In general, chapter 4 is like my favorite, my favorite chapter, because it just connects so well. I don't know.
It's my favorite chapter because I'm in it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah,
It's a very epic street employee. Do you remember?
yeah, I remember. It's not epic anymore.
But now it is. Now it is.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
it's epic still.
exactly.
The gang. You can't kill them.
Me and the squad.
Yeah, you used to be able to kill them, which was pretty funny. But these aren't actually the same NPCs that you fight in the rogue ending. But that's for later. For now, we're gonna drink, and then we will play the undrugged ending afterwards. So I'm gonna do a hard save here and just drink it. And so this is interesting. Currently, for episode 1, there are 11 ways you can experience the game. And so that was really difficult to keep track of. So every player has a different amount of information. So for example, if you don't drink the water the first time, you will know that your wife is not alive anymore. But if you don't know that, then you will think she's alive. And that's why I feel like a lot of people thought the traitor lead was the wife, which yeah, she wasn't. Or isn't.
Also, there are some. I've seen some people saying that the traitor lead is Bad Cop's daughter.
Yeah.
For some reason.
That is actually that's a pretty funny theory. But like, it's probably most definitely wrong. I don't know if you've got anything specifically planned for the traitor lead, but that is actually kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a funny theory, not something that like.
Yeah, it's just like it's just funny, like, you know, like it's like funny, like the thing like you bake in like a Matt Pat parody about Entropy Zero Uprising, just like it's like the traitor lead is Bad Cop's daughter.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't even have had the liberty like of writing that into our story. So Bloody decides to go up there for some reason, so he can cover you from the roof, which of course begs the question: why doesn't everyone just use his path? But that way you wouldn't have the one last final squad section. So this section is mostly just there to like include every gameplay aspect, like really just to sum it all up. And actually you can send them through the minefield, and I think they will do it without anyone dying. Well, he won't, but... Oh, he will, okay. Yeah, let's see where they're going. And so you can actually use that. But there's also another path that you can use, and it's just the like, where there's no grass, it's more or less safe. And so, yeah. Yeah, they can get through here without any problems. And I'm really happy about that still. And yeah, you can also see Bloody fighting against someone else up there. Or like you can see his gunshots.
I like this courtyard. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's really large as well. There's some hidden supplies. I'm still pretty happy with the general vibe of like this area. I like the glowing windows as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just like in general, this whole place looks to be pretty nice to live in. Like, to me at least.
I mean, it's City 17, but yeah. I guess.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of home. It's similar. Like those huge courtyards.
Yeah.
You can. I often see them when I walk through the city.
Yeah, I mean, I
to
did base them
Warsaw.
on real inspiration, so yeah. Also, like, I think this shot here is also pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty basic, but just like the green lighting on the building. I don't know, something about it feels ominous, and I like it. So I'm not sure what the inspiration for that was, but yeah.
It looks kind of weird if you like think about it, but it looks really nice.
Yeah, I mean, that entire courtyard here is a bit weird. It's very large. I think too large, but it works. You don't really notice it unless you really think about it, and I think that's really what it's all about.
I don't think it's too large since it's kind of like a garden. Like it's supposed to be. I can tell it's supposed to be kind of a garden, it's kind of it's just a garden, I would say.
And yeah, let's go. Getting these cops to walk out of the elevator was a pretty big challenge. And I mean, he doesn't even walk out, so I guess it doesn't even work perfectly all the time. So yeah, that's...
Yeah, elevators and NPCs sometimes just don't work well together.
Yeah, it's really janky. Yeah, you can walk. And I think they will catch up eventually. I mean, it's not like it matters, they don't follow you into the mall anyway, so... But yeah, this is the mall, the view. And of course you can't actually enter this. But... yeah, it's just the final, the final view you have before the action. It's the calm before the storm, basically, and you can, like, see a lot of detail on the streets here, where you can...
Yeah, those spotlights are really cool.
Yeah. Like, there's a parking lot back there, and it's just... I don't know, I'm pretty happy with the mall building, even though it might not be the most memorable one, like, design-wise. I think it's a bit generic, but still, I think it's... it looks believable. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, just this view in general is, I think, pretty cool. Then, of course, you get to the... Oh, I've completely missed all the traitor poems. That's my bad. So, or like, not poems, but like the traitor slogans. It's like, hang on. Wasn't there something here? We moved one later on.
No, we moved all of them to the traitor hideout.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Never mind then. Sorry, I guess I didn't miss them. They're still gonna show up. Okay. So yeah.
This is where they start. This is like you said that I remember that you said it's supposed to be like a traitor hideout.
Yeah, exactly.
A traitor outpost or something like that.
So like they're watching over the mall from here. And it also explains why, like, the rest of the squad doesn't follow you, because they get ambushed soon after you are done. So, like, once you enter the mall, these 3 people get killed by the traitors who return from their scouting party, whatever. As you can tell by the traitor lead telling you in the rogue ending that they were on the lookout for whatever. And so, yeah. Okay, so here's of course the first, and yeah, we really wanted to establish this logo here, and just, I don't know, it's kind of ominous on the first playthrough. I don't think you're really gonna get what all of this is about, but there is a hint with the mask up there and stuff. So
yeah, I'm really happy with the logo. It's simple, but it's also really fitting.
Yeah, I think originally I wanted to like have it be a fist or something, but that was too difficult to make for my skill set back then, and so I just decided to do this instead. But yeah. So yeah, the zipline. The zipline is just a breen pot. And yeah.
Of course, Victor needs to do a spin. It's kind of like his thing. It's kind of like, you know, his style.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of action here that you can't see. But it's actually not a lot of action. Hang on. So, like it's 3 rebels fighting against 2 cops, and then later on a head grip canister getting spawned. The rest is just gunfire sounds and stuff. But I think it works well enough to still the illusion of an ambush. So this is of course the distraction Bloody sent out earlier. And most of them die, so they're not really able to take them all head on. But we are able to enter unnoticed from the side now, so... So something that's interesting, so behind this door is the traitor lead path, of course. And that one wasn't designed back when this map was originally made, so it was added later on. And so the layout of the mall wasn't really finished, so to say, and like it kind of evolved with that rework of the ending, and I think that's pretty cool how it still all works out in the end, layout-wise, so there's no overlapping areas or anything like that. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with that in Chapter 4.
I'm just a huge fan of them all. I really like it.
Yeah, maybe we should also talk about like the concept of the mall, because like the mall was always kind of there. I don't know why. Oh yeah, actually I do remember why. Like, so I wanted to do a mall in like an earlier mod I was working on, like alone, which I never made public, or I never talked about it in any way, but that was like the first mod I wanted to do, and there was a mall section there that was planned. And so I think that just kind of carried over, and then from there we just kind of so that's where the location of the mall came from, so like the idea that we need a mall. Yeah. And story-wise, the mall was, I think it was 3 months after the beginning of development, we were already discussing like the mall. And it was supposed to be the end of the demo of Uprising, so like the end of the 4th chapter, which is now episode 1, so we changed that as well. And back then it would have been, I think we already briefly discussed this, it would have been like Barney betrays you or something. And then you, maybe you can tell it better.
Yeah. Okay, so the memories are a bit muddy, but there was definitely Barney. You were supposed to rescue Barney from the mall, I think, and it was kind of like Entropy 01, where you would rescue Barney, and Barney would then betray you, and the difference was that he wouldn't shoot you in the back, but he would kill other Metro cops while you were in some other room, and then you would have to catch him by the APC. He would ride away with the APC, and you would have to catch him by your own APC. And the demo was supposed to end with you crashing somewhere on the street.
Yeah, and then you would have been fatally injured, so that, like, the fatal injury Victor suffers at the end, this was always planned, I guess. But yeah, and I mean, this was before we had the other APC section, so...
Yeah, but also I just really like, I always like the idea of a mall, because it just felt really original.
Yeah, I mean, some mods have malls, but yeah.
I guess so, but you know, I just I like the concept of a mall being like a rebel fortress.
Yeah, I mean this loading area. This is completely unrelated, but like I think this mall feels mostly believable. So like this loading area was based on a real location, and the general layout was also based on on several malls, so I think it kind of feels close enough to a real mall. It's not like a big American mall or anything, but yeah, this combat encounter as well is also, I think, pretty cool because you can approach it from so many angles. I'm gonna do this one. But yeah, you can like jump down from there or from there, and depending on that you have a harder time. So yeah, this is already the new choreography by Blixabon. And so yeah, Victor is both agreeing to back here and also calling in Bloody. And so yeah, there's also like this little piece of information here.
You can actually see on the board that the traitor cups are being teased.
Yeah, you can see the first negotiations with passive CPs at 18. I'm just noticing now that it's kind of weird that they're using the 24-hour format, but yeah, whatever. I mean, I use the 24-hour format, but it's not usual for English speakers, so anyways. And yeah, you can like see, for example, Canal Base had a data leak and stuff, so it ties in with the entire chapter 3. The train crash as well. And so it also like tells you like all recruit groups are deployed, which means that the mall is a bit understaffed at the moment. Which is supposed to explain why it's easier to take it now than it was before. Because we are a pretty meager force here, so we're like back Bloody and Victor, and then some CPs from the outside in the Strider. It's not a whole lot, but they managed to take them all. So.
Yeah, there is just a little bit of suspension of disbelief.
Well, I mean, there was a reason provided, like I said. So,
yeah.
In comparison to earlier, so yeah. Yeah, and you can see the passive CP spotted up there, and so yeah, it all ties in, I guess. And yeah, in general, I'm pretty happy with like this board here. I'm not sure if it's not something players really pay much attention to, I don't think, but the people that do will probably appreciate it. So yeah, I think we're gonna get right into action now. The layout of this action sequence was a bit different. Maybe I can show that real quick. So yeah, it just used to be a bit different, but we later reworked it to be a bit longer. So yeah. As of course also playing No Fun in Killing by CW3D, one of the best tracks in the mod, I would say. So, yeah. In general, CW is great at making music, so...
Oh, absolutely, like most, not all of these tracks in this game are just absolute, like, they're amazing, just pure fire.
Yeah.
And the best of them play in this chapter, which also adds to why it's one of my favourites.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot of custom combat tracks he made here, so that's... I didn't really notice that, but yeah, that's true. Like, Chapter 1 and 2 barely use any custom... Or I don't think they use any custom combat tracks. So like they use the ones made... like the ones Spencer made, so not made for Uprising, not tailored to Uprising. Yeah.
Yeah, so before the tracks for Chapter 4, or the Chapter 4 mall fight were properly made, I remember my favourite was the one from the rebel ending, that she's getting revenge. That one is really good.
That one,
honestly, No Fun in Killing is probably my favourite now that I've listened to it. It just pumps you up so much. It's got such a like the tone to it.
Definitely. I'm kind of wasting it standing around, but yeah. There was this little shout out to 3650 here. But yeah. I guess I can talk a bit about the music making progress of getting revenge when we get to that section. I feel like that would be a good time, because it has a pretty interesting method of creating this sound. So.
Oh, the AR2 used to be near useless.
Oh yeah, that was
before
changed.
the release.
That was like fixed like a few days before release, like 20 days before release, I think.
Yeah.
Or like.
And and thank God it was changed, because AR2 really helped in this final holdout.
Yeah. So like the problem was that it still had the spread values from Easy 1. And so you couldn't hit anything. So like it was burst fire, but it wasn't precise at all. Then we made it more precise, but then the NPCs also got more precise as a result, and then we had to change that so that the NPCs and you use different values for it.
I mean, we still made sure that every NPC that uses AR2, every rebel that uses AR2 has its accuracy set to poor, the worst accuracy it could have. And they're still extremely dangerous.
I mean, even I think the combine soldiers are even more so dangerous. But yeah, you don't fight combine soldiers in this ending, of course. So.
I mean, it's fitting for the combine, and you don't see them very often, so it's not such a big deal. But here, when you're constantly being pinned down, it's a really big deal. Yeah. I remember that I used to die so many times in this standoff.
This fight is also pretty difficult. I mean, there's also an issue of visibility here, and we did a lot to mitigate that. But you can see the flares and stuff. Most of the rebels have headlights or something like that. That makes it easier to see them, but it's still not perfect. And so this fight was pretty difficult originally, and it still is more or less difficult, which I think is fitting, but...
Yeah, I think this fight is on a timer instead of a count.
Yeah,
so you don't really need to kill all the rebels, you just have to...
Yeah, at one point the Strider will kill all of them, so yeah. Also a little detail that I don't think people notice, but these barricades are put down while you fight there, so it kind of implies that there was another fight going on here, and like these corpses are new as well. So they were having their own holdout while you were having yours, and so... yeah. I think I kind of wish we could have shown that better, because it really would have added a lot, like, to the feeling that you're not the main character of this assault, but yeah. Blixen did excellent work with the choreography. I can't wait to see the rest.
I only miss the really forceful shove, the bloody cup.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty awkward to be honest, but yeah. Oh yeah. So this music here was different originally. So as a placeholder I used Getting Revenge here. And then CW did his track, which was then reused in the traitor ending. It's what was his name? 103. Yeah. So you can imagine in the original like version that track would have played in this area, but then Philippad was kind of against it because he liked the more ominous vibe of the original placeholder tracks. So yeah.
I'm really glad that it was actually changed. I'm still glad. I think it's fits much better now with this because the one that if I remember correctly, the one you were talking about is now used in the alternative ending when you fight the combine soldiers.
Yeah, and I think it fits there as well.
Yeah.
Personally, I never had an issue with the track, so... like with the
I mean,
placement of the track, but yeah.
I guess it's just like a personal taste sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
it just fits, for me, it just fits a lot better if it's like ominous, like since you are fighting in the dark,
Yeah.
and it just like fits the shifty vibe of the Traitor Cups.
I also say this fight, not completely happy with it. I do feel like the traders could have been made more dangerous here. But the way it works is so basically they come from there first, then they come from there, and then they come from there. And it's either on the timer or when you kill them all. And so you're never out of action, and I'm happy with that at least. So yeah.
That's simple. These guys want him outside. Oh, great. The guys are so loud. Just that. Are you getting friendly fire charges as well? Yeah. Well, say goodbye to your promotion, buddy. Wait, son. Those were super potential. Yes, they were. They betrayed us. They picked the wrong side. Who hasn't? Let's check if there are more of them.
Yeah, it's just these little like lines of dialogue that kind of make you question Beck's intentions. It's just really small, like he says 2 words and that's enough to kind of add a lot to his character. And so Bloody Bloody is confused by it, he doesn't understand what he's implying, and so I don't know, I think it adds a lot to both of these characters, just these few sentences in between. Oh yeah, also the skybox here is really beautiful, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
This is a nice
it's really
view.
nice.
Yes. Not as I think it's a little bit less detailed than what you saw from the view up there originally. So like I mean that's just a result of it being in 2 different maps, and like the detail was added on later onto the one but not to the other, and so that happens sometimes, but I don't know. Also, yeah, I in general I'm just pretty happy with this whole mall section.
Speaking of the skybox, in the alternative ending, it actually changes.
Yeah, it's an entirely different like.
It changes to be more uplifting.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, actually, I didn't really think about it that way. I think I just wanted it to be more visually distinct, and so I changed it to be in the morning, like, and so that it plays a bit later. That the sun is already rising a bit more. So, Entropy 0 sun rising. But yeah, okay. We are about to commence into the final scene of the drugged route. Yeah, this was the ending. Originally we only had one ending, and this would have been this one ending, and like adding different endings got added on later when we realized that the water feature wasn't going anywhere. Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah.
I know exactly where they are. Follow me.
Bloody only ever calls you because he doesn't know your name, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you never introduce yourselves. Neither sides actually introduce themselves.
Yeah.
So Bloody kind of like Bloody just thinks you're just an extra.
Yeah. Behind you. Ooh.
Why? Oh no.
Who could have seen that coming?
That was rude.
Yeah. I mean, at least they waited for you to turn around, so.
I mean, yeah, they did warn you. That's that at least.
Well, yeah, this is the introduction to the traitor lead that you will get on a regular path, which of course sets up.
This used to be the only line that. This used to be the only line.
Yeah, so we had a voice actress come in for 3 lines in total. So originally, and then later on, when there was criticism that we should like add voice lines to the wife, and when we also later we'll get to all of that. Let's not take it away. Let's focus on this ending first. So yeah, this was the regular ending, the one that episode 2 continues from. And yeah.
Yeah, the ending screens also used to look different.
Oh yeah, they used CW remade them luckily, but yeah, I think these are pretty cool, definitely. And
yeah, these are very nice.
I think we can also kind of talk about the ending screens. So like depending on the amount of water you drank, you get different ending screens, or like you get different endings different credits depending on the endings you got. So if you drank all the cans, then you get bloody in the credits. If you drank if you're half drugged, basically, then you get back. And if you betray the Combine and don't accept the traitor lead's offer, you get the victor screen, and otherwise you get the traitor lead. This could have 2 meanings. I'm not sure which one was originally intended. So like the one meaning would have been that these characters represent like what they would have done in your shoes. But it could also represent who likes you the most in those endings, or like who is the closest to you. And so it would make sense that Victor is alone when he dies alone. So yeah. And of course, Philip had everything.
The oldest running joke ever.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will get it.
I think there are like 3, maybe 2 other people that maybe you remember it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I wouldn't count on it. It's so niche.
Yeah.
It was like explained only once.
This room feels so weird to see now. Yeah.
I mean now it's easier for me to imagine how it looks like.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I mean, I don't have to imagine. I've already seen how it looks like how the whole place looks like. So it is pretty weird. You're right.
And yeah, this shot always reminds me of Darth Vader in episode 3, like rising from his little operating table. I don't know why. I guess it's kind of similar. They both nearly died and came back. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
But yeah, this background used to be different as well. We used to have different backgrounds back then. They weren't as stylized. They were just like more like Half-Life 2 backgrounds. And we originally wanted to release these old backgrounds so people could like choose, but we still haven't done that. So yeah, I'm not sure if we'll get around to that, because now there is a bit of extra work required to make it work. It's not just drag and drop, so we would have to recompile some maps, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, actually, do you think? I don't know if I should say it, but maybe someone in the comments will ask, why is there a firing range in the menu?
I just noticed.
Should we tell them?
Well,
should we tell them, or?
No, I don't think
no?
so. It's just it's a custom add-on that someone in our team made. and I'm not sure if if he'll release it. I hope he does, but it's
I really hope he will, because I just want him to show off that map because it's so great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I don't want to hype people up, but I want him to share it with everyone. He should be proud of it, I think.
yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the other two endings and talk about them. There's a lot to unpack here. So yeah, because the endings and the story in general was very different 4 months before release. So like, we did a playtest at the end of 2022, and we got mixed feedback. It was mostly CW who wasn't really happy with the ending, and so we changed something, because back then, I'm just gonna let it play out in full. So yeah, in the original version, as you could see, Victor killed his wife and bloody merely desecrated the body, which would have had like a way different feeling, or like it would have, the story would have been way different because of that. So like the entire aspect of gaslighting would have been missing from this path. Because, well, so like, the gaslighting wasn't going on just during the game, it was also going on before the game. So Victor was made to believe that he killed his own wife. And so like, it really took way longer to retain his memory. And also it felt stronger, like that he killed his own wife, that he didn't kill his own wife, but Bloody did. Gave more reason for Victor to really hate Bloody. So yeah, that was changed 4 months before release, but when we ran these playtests, people still weren't happy. That's because of the ending. I'm going to put the ending on screen now, like the post-credit scenes and everything, so you can judge for yourself. So what you just saw was the old ending, which was in 2 months before release, and then we heavily reworked it because playtesters were absolutely not happy. I'll have to see if I can find any like video reactions, but people really didn't like those endings. Or like that ending, it was only one ending back then. And so 1UpD made the suggestion that you should meet up with the traitor lead and free back and stuff, and so that's what we did, basically. There were other things which we did too, like, because in the playtest we did 2 months before release, we noticed that like most of the playtesters did undrugged playthroughs, and we didn't really want first-time players to play it that way. Uprising Episode 1 is a game you're supposed to play multiple times to really get the whole story. What we did after the playtest, which we did 2 months before release, what we did was basically we added water propaganda to discourage players from not drinking the water, and we also did the whole PCB thing, which was something which Clatronics suggested, more or less. The main takeaway of like these changes is that don't be afraid to radically change your ending. Like if the feedback is mixed, don't stick to a bad ending. Don't die on that hill, basically. So because the old ending was really bad, and playtesters told us that it wasn't good, and so we changed that.
Really? That's it? I feel that was really abrupt. So that didn't feel like a very reasonable place to just end it. As if, you know, oh, I had to run away from the Strider, I almost got killed by the Strider or something, you know. I think let the player fight that one out, right? And then you could say and then you could show the guy, like, take off his mask or something, right? And then it could be like, you know, end of file because the mask was taken off so it's not recording anymore. Because he took it off because he didn't want to work with the Combine. That would be a little bit more reasonable as an ending point. But right now, as it currently stands, I'm not sold, I should say. That was a pretty abrupt way to end it. I don't think that was a good way to end it either.
There's a few things that I think could have been done a little bit better. I would have liked to see more of a resolution to the character arc in the story in this ending. I imagine that the other ending is like the canon ending, and this was like the crazy alt ending, and that's fine. But I wish there was more of a resolution to the plot hooks that were opened in this ending. Like, what about Beck? Beck is the traitor cop. That was him. So that means that he was, like, it was his plan all along. That's a crazy twist, but I do think that it could have been set up better.
So we're finally here in Victor's old apartment. And yeah, the music you can hear is just a small ambient sound, and it plays the little water sound that you hear every time the water is mentioned. That's a kind of a motive. Yeah. And now the truth is finally revealed. This guy here, I don't see anyone mentioning him, and I feel kind of bad for him. He just gets killed, but I mean,
yeah, I never thought about this guy. I just thought he was like, you know,
yeah, but like
just some cannon fodder.
It's kind of interesting, right? Because like this guy is right next to his wife, like to Victor's wife, protecting her. And I guess you could kind of see it like this being her new boyfriend or whatever. So like it was never meant like that, but you could interpret it that way, and I think it would certainly add something to the story.
Actually, I wonder what he was doing here, because it's not, this apartment is not exactly a rebel base.
I mean, it is.
So,
yeah, I guess they had something hidden away here, or something like a supply cache or something. But yeah, you don't really know why you're here. But I mean, Victor probably doesn't remember why he was here. He just remembers that he met his wife here again. And yeah, then there's of course bloody. This line was also added on later because, like, yeah. So you could originally you couldn't originally holster your weapon, but Krellick suggested that you should be able to, and so we added that. And that leads to the most disappointing endings you can have, and yeah. Also, this is a really cool still frame. I just noticed that, but yeah. Spoops, how do you feel about your character getting gunned down like that?
In most situations, I'd be quite depressed, but knowing what Buddy's like, I think it's better off for everyone else, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
I really like how the table breaks like 3 seconds too late.
It's like with Buddy, it's probably the only character with a voice where it probably is for the best that he's said. But
Yeah.
but here is one of the best soundtracks in the game.
And the worst comment sections. Not really, but like
Yeah,
this comment, this is a bit unfair. I feel like, but yeah. Yeah,
You
so
have
getting
to be,
revenge.
Yeah, you have to be really quick.
Yeah, I mean it's
You have
supposed to
to-
be hard, of course. Like rising up is difficult. It's not easy. And so the section.
I wouldn't really say like on the concept of like balance. I wouldn't say the game's unfair. Like I think before a little while ago, the warehouse section back in chapter 3, I'd say that was pretty annoying. But I think
Yeah.
even now in like the modern release, it's far better to play through.
Yeah, definitely.
Some sections definitely used to be much harder.
But yeah, now you also have, of course,
what I
the
remember.
fast zombies spammed in because they like
Of course,
breached the barricades that you could see earlier.
Yeah, it's like everything comes crashing down all at once.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I think it's just like really the best way to end the whole mod.
also,
The
this
single
one elite combined soldier,
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, I mean he's there
I
to give
think
you
that-
the AR2, that's it, basically. But yeah.
Yes, exactly. You said that you added him only for the player to have AR2.
Yeah.
I was actually, before you told me that and I was playing through this ending, I actually thought that it was supposed to be Bad Cop, like one of his clones.
It's just bad cop, just a bad cop clone who's like immediately tossed aside like a side character. Yeah, that'd be pretty. I mean, I guess it could be bad cop. Who knows? Any elite could be bad cop. We don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be one of Bad Cop's clones. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, that is actually right, because if I remember correctly, Breadman did write down that you kill a lot of bad cops in Half-Life 2 as Golden Freeman.
yeah, but I don't. I'm not really sure how accurate that is anymore. So that was like way before EZ2 released.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like to think that the clones differ from each other, and maybe some clones are like less bad copish, as in maybe they're like lesser
I mean,
clones.
definitely they don't have like the faculties, and so they're like just regular soldiers, I guess. But I don't know. That's not really the topic of the playthrough. I would want to talk about the soundtrack here because it uses a little trick that I used a lot. Basically, just slowing down the soundtrack by 33%. So maybe I can play the original Getting Revenge, how it sounds when you export it, before like doing all the post-processing stuff. Yeah, it sounds way worse, of course. So yeah, that's, I don't know, playing with like the speed of a soundtrack is always a good idea, I think.
But, wow, that was a pretty awesome finish.
Yeah,
The
No,
grenade.
and then there's of course the trailer lead, who usually in the original ending wasn't here. So
You did all this by yourself.
I don't want to talk about it.
Fine. Still, very impressive. We could use someone like you. You seem to be capable of a great deal. It would honestly be a shame to let all that potential go to waste. I'll leave it up to you. If you want to really strike back against the Combine, Join us.
Let me think about that.
I'll be waiting over there. Just follow me if you're interested.
So, of course, the game now doesn't end with this section, because originally this used to be the ending. And I think I'm just gonna do the Victor ending real quick, and then we'll move on to the traitor section. I think that would be the best way to end
This
it.
ending used to end much more. It used to end much more abruptly.
Yeah.
And it was a little confusing because it would just jump. It would jump to you sitting on a couch, and just the citadel going off
Yeah.
from the distance.
Also, there were like, yeah, it was just way worse. But yeah. Now, of course, the credits. The music here is actually like loosely based on Kelly Bailey's Hazardous Environments from CS:GO, so like the music kit. If you know, then I think you can kind of hear it, but otherwise I don't think it's close at all. So, yeah. The reason the music was used here actually was like, so the traitor soundtrack, the traitor ending soundtrack in the credits, I feel like is kind of lame. I mean, it's just a Paul stretch applied to like. Actually, I think I still have the original sound file. Let me play that when we get to it. But yeah, so it's just pretty lame music, and so I kind of added the music here because I felt like people who chose this ending deserved a bit more than just like some random sounds, and so I wanted to give them a proper musical send-off, and so that's why this ending has like the only real custom soundtrack made for it. So yeah. I mean, yeah.
The most memorable part of this ending is definitely the custom menu.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember some people getting freaked out.
I mean, that's
when
what it's for.
when they saw it.
Yeah. People who use the console to access it are lame, though. So, like, if you use the console to get this ending, screw you, honestly.
Oh yes, I remember. One person used the. I remember in the Entropy Zero Discord, one person wrote, guys, I was going through the console and I saw this menu map. What does this mean?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It feels like I guess we're just being salty here, but like that's what happens when you work on something for 3 years.
I remember you being really pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you work on something for 3 years and people will play through it in 3 hours and then like don't even do replays and stuff, because episode 1 was supposed to you're meant to replay it, because there's a lot of stuff in here that makes it worthwhile.
It was really cheap.
But like,
it was really cheap.
Yeah.
Also, just the sounds of this menu
CW is
are really
so great at
really
these.
spooky.
Yeah. Like, I mean, these background maps were also like added a few days before release, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think they were done in April or something. I think he did this map on like the 7th or 8th of April, which is like 1 or 2 days before release. So, that's just pretty impressive, I think.
It definitely helps the ending to stand out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's also pretty interesting from a map development standpoint. Like the ending, I'm pretty sure it's just like 2 prop dynamics in like put into each other with like a render effects on it. Sadly, CW isn't here today. I guess he could talk a bit more about that, but I think I might show a screenshot how it looks in Hammer. So, yeah.
Yeah, so now we now we're about to see the probably the favorite endings, the favorite ending
Yeah.
for most people.
I think it's the best ending when you look at episode 1 as a single experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. That's I mean, mostly because you just get a clear ending about the story.
Yeah.
But it's also very it's just very fulfilling because the true ending obviously left on a cliffhanger.
Whoa. Yeah. I didn't know that you could actually kill her here. Hang on, can you kill her and like end the ending? Oh, whatever.
The rebels don't trust us traitors yet. I've only been able to negotiate a fragile peace for now.
But yeah, she's just like talking a lot. Which makes up for her lack of presence in the other endings. I mean, she's of course supposed to be a surprise in the other endings, so... but yeah, I don't know, I really like how, like, it all makes sense, right? Like, choosing a different path makes all these characters behave differently, but it makes sense, so, like, having played one ending explains so much more about the other ending, and so, yeah.
Yeah, there is, like, a huge difference.
Here, a zip line.
And yeah, like, that's something that you really have to keep in mind when making multiple paths, is that, like, every path will be played by someone and it has to make sense. And so, it was I wouldn't say it was really a big challenge, but it was certainly something that we, like, had to keep in mind, when it came to dialogue and, like, exposition and, like, story writing and stuff, so. Yeah.
Oh, no spin. No spin this time.
No spin, yeah. It depends on, from where you look at it, so. I mean, yeah, the vent cover is here, because you originally could, like, get a prop and then jump in. And then you would have been able to play through the regular ending. So, yeah.
They don't know you, so I doubt they'll trust you. I mean, they don't even trust me.
Yeah, but there's just this little, like...
This storage area is curious. No, I don't know, just looks pretty genuine.
Yeah, it's just some, like, back room of some store or something. Yeah. Yeah, in general, like, I'm pretty happy with this room. But I think you can also kind of tell that it was later. I think you can kind of tell that it was added later on. But yeah.
The projected texture really helps with setting the mood.
It's me. I'm here for the CP. Open up, please.
But yeah, I also like how you go through the different door this time. Like, Bloody went through this door, but you go through this one. Does it mean anything? Probably not. But also, yeah, this is the room where the traitors, like, type and stuff.
Wait, you two know each other? Anyway,
This radio is really nice.
Yeah.
I had a look at your file.
So the music,
It sets
I'm not sure if you
up
can hear it, but
a good mood.
and the music that you can hear here wasn't actually made for Uprising in the beginning. I guess okay, maybe now would be a good time to kind of talk about the background of the trailer lead. So, like, the trailer lead was originally intended to be male. We had an entirely male cast. And I don't know, like, I was talking to someone and she suggested that maybe you should, like, have a female character. And, like, that got me thinking, and then there wasn't really a deliberate reason for it or anything. It's just, like, there were good reasons to turn her into a female character, because, like, the difference in vocoder and, like, silhouette, just, like, really helps set her apart, and I think that was, like, the main reason that we, made her a woman in the end. So yeah, that's something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You may have suppressed it, but I
yeah.
know there's a part in you that wants to fight
And also, yeah, the music that you can hear here, or maybe not, I'm not sure. The recording might be a bit too quiet. And yeah, I also want to talk about the scene, so I'm gonna pause and maybe even reload the save. I hope I have a save still. Yeah, the music here wasn't originally made for Uprising, and I just like kind of put it in. And like the process of the music was also interesting because yeah, you can hear it now a bit. It was refined with the feedback of the same person who like served as a kind of basis for the traitor lead's character. So yeah. Okay, maybe I can reload a save here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that should be good. Because I kind of want to talk about like the dialogue and stuff. It's like this scene used to be. This scene was pretty difficult to write, I will say.
But it turned out really well.
I think it can be some parts are a bit off, but like in general, I'm happy with it. So yeah.
I mean, my first impression was that I just really liked it. I was immediately hooked.
But yeah, I feel what I really like about this is like it kind of just like exposes Beck's entire fake personality is put on and like completely disarms him. Like this is the last ditch attempt at a defense. But after that he's like completely given up his facade, and I think it's just, yeah. I'm just really happy with like the pacing of this dialogue here. Like, yeah, you can see that Beck is like a deeply broken character. And like, it's really just like the entire game he's just been putting on this tough guy facade, but like, that's not him in the slightest, so like... and that's why I think like this ending is so well received, because I feel like it resonates with people somehow. But yeah. Or maybe because people just like happy endings, or whatever. But yeah.
I wouldn't call it exactly a happy ending.
Yeah, well, happy ending for Beck at least. He doesn't get that.
As happy as you can in 2017.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. But yeah, the music is also like timed to the dialogue and stuff.
Sounds like we have some company. You guys need any help with that? No one's coming. Victor's rampage.
But yeah, I've seen people like really discuss this, like, where did the soldiers come from? I thought Bloody said like no one was around and stuff. Well, how do you best address something like that? I mean, yeah, the rampage attracted attention, but like it's also like because it's later in the day, or like later in the night, I guess. I mean, if you look outside, it's in the morning hours. So whatever the Carmine were doing, they finished it obviously, and so now they were ready to redeploy. You could already see that with the hunter early on, who well, like the hunter wasn't really a large patrol or anything, but there was this hunter and the elite from the Overwatch forces which were sent in to dispatch you. And now they noticed, okay, this civil protection squad got wiped out entirely, which is significant because I mean it was like 10 units or maybe something like that, and like the hunter got disabled as well and stuff. And so now your rampage really attracted the attention of the Combine, and that's why the mall is now being attacked by Combine soldiers. When previously the Combine soldiers just weren't really doing anything, or like weren't even here. But yeah. So you can see the assault is way more brutal as a result, because like there's just way more stuff going on. And, like,
Yeah, so you can already see that the Combine soldiers already have a better approach to attacking them all.
Yeah, it's kind of like they kind of enter like the traitors with the elevator now.
Yeah, and they also attack from multiple angles instead of just rushing for one side like Bloody decided to.
Kind of tells you that like the Combine soldiers are really just superior. I mean, of course we managed to fight them off with the power of friendship or whatever, but like already you can see like the rebels that you saw in the original Maul fight, like these guys are all mostly already dead, right? So like in a few minutes of fighting, the Combine was way more successful than
I mean, if you think about it, if you were to go with the ending where you get killed by the Strider, then the Combine soldiers would definitely take over them all.
Yeah.
Without much issues.
So this was the first half of the section.
It's curious. One thing that's really curious is that some people say that this fight is harder than the original Maul fight, and some people say that the original ending is much harder than this one. So there are some.
I guess it really
opinions.
depends on how much you use the RPG and stuff. But yeah, overall, like this, because this ending, like this entire map and everything around it was made in the 3 to 2 months before release. So like it was done in like a month, and you can kind of tell like some parts are a bit rushed. But overall, yeah, I think this compensation could have used a bit more polish, and I think it's because of that it seems a bit more difficult. But overall, I'm still mostly happy with it. So like, we wouldn't have released if it wasn't good enough. So yeah,
also you can see the skybox being more like lighter.
Yeah, it's entirely orange. Then,
and this,
and it's kind of cool, right? Like from this angle, it's orange. Like because that is the angle that the rebels like would have come from, I guess. And from there it's blue. Well, because the Combine soldiers come from there. And yeah, the Strider, which is of course the Strider Bloody originally intended to use as a distraction. This is the same Strider that also kills you. And it just now regrouped with the rest.
It's always the same Strider.
Yeah, it's always the same Strider, and here it just now regrouped with the rest of the squad. And so.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, the Strider actually leaves after a while. So
yeah, even if it leaves after half health. You don't have to kill it. So like it survives this ending. See, everyone gets a happy ending, even the Strider.
If you let it escape, you can try to kill it. It can be killed.
Yeah.
But it will try to retreat.
I'm not sure under which conditions it will retreat. I don't rightly remember anymore, to be honest, but I think it will retreat when all the soldiers have been killed, so. Also, yeah, of course, the traitor backup here, which is very...
The traitor could just die immediately.
Yeah, they're not really useful. But of course, I mean, it's also not as many as in the original traitor fight.
Looking back, we could have tried to make them a little more smarter, so they wouldn't die immediately. They would take more cover, but it was really close to the release.
Yeah.
So we didn't have enough time.
I mean, I guess we could have taken more time because we announced the release only when we were like thinking, yeah, it's ready now. But because like at one point you just have to, like release, right? You can't keep working on it forever and like keep polishing things up, because then you're just gonna get nowhere. This doesn't mean that you should just rush everything, but like, still, like, don't be a perfectionist, basically. Like you can't make everything perfect. So. Ah, see, I actually killed it. And yeah, that was that.
I don't think we should hold out here any longer. We should gather as many survivors as possible and get the hell out. Come out. It's safer now.
I'm hurt.
That's cool. But yeah, what a coincidence that it all leads to the same room.
Victor, can you stay here and check the cameras for any survivors?
I really wish I could have seen like a live reaction of someone like play through this section, like on their thoughts, like after they've played the original ending, like were they thinking, okay, now she's gonna shoot you in the back? Because that would have been a funny way to.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if some people thought that.
Yeah, I mean it does
I
kind of
wonder
look like that.
I wonder if anyone actually noticed that it's the same room.
I
Because
mean, you have to
people just-
notice, surely. After you've played the one ending, you'll have to notice that it's the same room. I mean, I don't know.
All right, people, let's move. Beck, you're with me.
So the traitor lead told you, like, loosely told you to look for survivors.
Yeah,
It's actually just to, see the you actually just see hallucinations.
yeah, there are no survivors, I guess. But yeah, you can see the wife speak. And I don't know, I'm really happy that we gave her a voice. Because that was something that was... Originally she was completely mute, and so this was before this ending was implemented, but like she was completely mute, and then like I don't know, a playtester like mentioned that the wife wasn't really like, there was no like relation to the wife and like no characterization for her, and like giving her a voice like really helped, and at least adding some humanity to her. And yeah, so this was done in the same swoop. So like giving her a voice and this ending were done in the same time frame. Yeah. And I believe this was the last line that was recorded for episode 1. At least for like Bloody Cop, I mean. Bloody Cop is of course only hallucination, which you can tell by the fact that she just disappears immediately afterwards. The couch as well, like it all disappears. It's nothing you just saw was real. I think that was obvious, but like I don't know, some people probably had difficulty telling that. I'm not sure. So yeah, here's the music that plays. It's just like a really heavily edited version of another track that was never used because it was bad, but yeah.
And after those credits, there will be that one scene that a lot of people, I think a lot of people remembered really well.
Yeah.
The most memorable scene in the whole mod. I would say so.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this ending still. And like the main takeaway is like listen to your playtesters and listen to the feedback that people give you, and like if they say that something's bad, then like rework it. Don't stick to your original vision because it can be flawed. Like everyone makes mistakes sometimes. And so yeah, I'm really happy that we listened to our playtesters, and like Also, I'm really happy that our playtesters gave like this critical feedback. And didn't just say, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. So, yeah, really, we Uprising would have been way worse without any playtesters. So,
Oh yeah,
that's really
no doubt about that.
So, now for the final ending scene. A little fun fact to the scene is that CW actually wrote it in its entirety.
So, we're about to leave the city.
So he wrote the dialogue as well as the music, and he also made the timing. And then in the end, I just implemented it in the map, I guess.
Some shit since the mall.
And then Blix also later on reworked the choreo, as you can see.
Stand here.
I also have to say they did a really good job with this. To me, this is a very powerful ending, even if it's not canon.
Yeah, definitely. It's
I think it's safe. I think it's really safe to say that this is everyone's favorite. I think. I mean,
I would hope
it's
so.
resonated the most with most of the players.
Yeah, like in an alternate universe where in some alternate universe where this was the only episode released, this would probably be like people consider this the canon ending.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a better ending than the other one. If you view it as its own thing and don't consider episode 2, which isn't out of.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as its own thing, the other ending is just, it doesn't really work that well. But since it's just part one of a large story, it makes sense.
Just gonna point something out real quick. Of course, there's the wooden cross, but there's also bloody dumped there on the barricade. It's not completely obvious, but yeah, that's him. He got tossed out into the street.
Yeah, I didn't notice that the first time.
Nobody noticed that. I mean, okay, eventually some people did, but I think quite a few people missed it on the first playthrough. And now we're off to the main menu again, which was made like 2 days before release, or 3 days, or like a week. It was definitely a very close call, this one.
Oh yeah, these menus. When I first saw these menus being implemented, it made such a difference, because originally the menus were very much like the standard like Half-Life 2, Half-Life mod affair, where it's just like a scene from the game playing in real time. But these, I love these. They're just so effective. Like it's what's the word? Like, it's stylish.
Yeah.
Very stylish, and just it gives them all its own flavour. And very new as well. I do hope more mods experiment with this kind of thing, because I personally love it.
Well, I was the only one actually who was initially against it, because I really like those normal background maps where something happens.
Oh, those are good too, especially for games like Half-Life, where environmental interaction is a big core part of the gameplay. But I think this is like, it has enough of a set style to it, and it's just quality enough that I personally think it is a great substitute for the regular background menu.
Yeah.
It helps to it helps to make this mod different from the
I
rest.
think it also
Yeah.
highlights the characters, right? You can see the traitor logo on Beck's back here, for example, which is something you wouldn't notice if you didn't, like, know it, right? So, like, I don't know, I think it's just more character focused, like, these backgrounds are more character focused, which is really useful, or like, not useful, I guess, fitting for the mod, which is kind of character driven.
Yeah, actually, in a strange way, it's quite like I think like some of the loading screens in Rockstar's games where the characters are more front and center, just to, like, give you a good idea of who's like important in this game.
Yeah. And I mean, then there is the fade out into the regular, like, this was the old background before CW made the new ones, right? And so he made it so that it fades into this one as a compromise for Philip Ed's desire to have the old backgrounds in some shape. And yeah, you can hear Kleiner talking about stuff. The Citadel is critical. And so yeah, that's the time frame in which the scene happens and everything. So yeah, I think overall I'm just really happy with all these menus, and I think this one I like especially because it has a mood, you know. It's
Yes, it turned out very, very good.
Yeah, I like it because, again, while it's non-canon, like, this gives it a feel of finality. Like, this is it. This is the end in this timeline.
yeah. So like, if episode 2 were not, like, if episode 2 didn't exist, then this would be the official ending, I would say. It's just the most fitting thematically, and it has the most story content, right? Because you experience all these water mechanic features, like the forgetting thing, or like not the forgetting, the remembering thing. You experience the gaslighting and everything, and it's just overall more rounded experience than if you drink the water. Which, I mean, drinking the water is, of course, still a legitimate way to experience the game, right? We had intention, or like we intended it to be played that way, sort of, but overall this just feels more complete to me, personally, at least.
Honestly, I would agree with that.
I'm also really glad that a lot of people just really like the traitor cops in general. I'm really happy that they just really fit to the game. Like, they don't really stick out, as in they don't fit to the Half-Life universe.
Yeah. In general, it's kind of funny, right? Like, the traitor corps, they wouldn't even have appeared in the original ending. In the original alternative ending, the traitors wouldn't even appear. So it would be like, at the end, Beck would suddenly be a traitor, and you'd just be confused at what happened. So yeah, I'm just really glad about how we changed the ending in the final 2 months of development. Like, how we changed this ending to be better. Like, it just works, I think.
Yeah, we just dodged the bullet.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think the old ending, overall, it would have been a worse experience, which does kind of lead me to the topic of the reception of the mod. So I'm kind of curious how well you expected this mod to perform, and like how whether or not your expectations have been matched in that regard. So maybe Philippa, maybe we can start with you. I'm gonna...
Like, what was I expecting of people to react?
Yeah, so like, okay, so currently, to speak in numbers, the main file of Entropy Zero Uprising Episode 1 has 33,000 downloads. In total, we have 53,000 downloads. So that's like the translations and stuff, I guess. And yeah, just like, how big was that number originally? Like, how many people did you assume would play this mod originally? Because I was thinking,
honestly, honestly, I was just thinking that it would stay in the Entropy Zero community, in the Entropy Zero circle. Like, I wasn't we mainly worked on it because we just wanted to expand the universe a bit. I guess I should say, because at first it was just a bit of fun. We didn't really plan this out at the beginning, and we only really get actually like really serious a little later.
Yeah. So like, it's kind of crazy. It's a weird. I don't know. I think it's lightning in a bottle in a way, because it didn't start from like completely planned out, and I think that's really is what helped it take form. So I do think, like, if I were to do it again, then I would probably still do it the same way, just like this improvisation and how it all comes together, how you get these connections, right? Because, like, for example, when we changed the ending from bloody, not just shooting at your dead wife, but actually killing her, which originally wasn't there, right? And originally Victor killed his wife, and bloody was only there to then kind of mock him for it. When we changed that, the whole game
it was
changed.
a lot more open-ended.
Yeah, like the whole game changed because of that, and just going with the flow, right? Going with what feels right. It's really was really what made this project fun to me. And yeah, personally, like originally when I started out, I was so amazed when Redman even recognized us, right? So like when he mentioned us from time to time or something like that, or like when any of the Entropy Zero developers like acknowledged our existence at the very start, I was like very easily impressed.
It felt amazing.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I don't think I would have ever expected it to reach like. I mean, okay, I guess 50,000 downloads doesn't exactly mean it 50,000 people know it, but I mean, I wouldn't really know how many people actually have played it, and like how many. I wouldn't know how many people have heard of it and stuff, but I think it definitely made rounds. I mean, second place on Mod of the Year of 2023. Yeah, we released last year, right? That's definitely a huge thing.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting to.
Yeah, I never would have expected
that ranking.
Right? So, I don't know. It's kind of amazing, really.
Yeah, like honestly, when it comes to Entropy Zero Uprising and how its popularity in the community and beyond, it's just like this was this is a bit more my side, but this was my first, like, as Bloody Cop, this was my first major voice role, and I knew this was going to reach people, and like I knew it was going to reach people because, again, like Entropy Zero is a very popular mod series, especially around the time this was being developed. It was still sort of a little bit before. I think it's been definitely a bit before, back when Entropy Zero 2 was still in release, but still, like, the community was still building, and especially when Entropy Zero 2 released, like, I knew this was going to be popular, but I did not expect it to be as, I didn't expect to get as, I don't know, yeah, I didn't expect it to get as popular as it did, but when it did, it's just, I just feel so proud of it. Like, you're seeing all this happen, like, for the first time, I have seen fan art of a character I voiced. Like, I've seen fan art of Bloody Cop. Like you're seeing that, like fan art of Bloody Cop, of Beck, of Victor. Like, I can think of, like, I helped make this. Even if it's not as big as a contribution as others, like the mappers or the programmers, I helped make this thing, and I couldn't be more proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you brought Brotherly to life, so I think your contribution is very big in that aspect. So,
it's really amazing to see actual, like, fan art of the characters.
yeah,
I wasn't really expecting to have those things go that far.
I think it's the ultimate compliment, I guess.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, I remember
all those music animations too.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw fan art, not just of Entropy Zero, but Entropy Zero Uprising, but of Bloody Cop was the Dover courts. I've seen like some of their fan art. Like it's just so wonderful to see people create things and share things about something you are a part of. Like seeing that from them, seeing all their animation and music videos by other animators and artists, it brings you this sense of like joy and pride that you just can't get anywhere else. And that's what I love the most about working on things like this, of being able to voice acts, being able to actually do other things in future like modeling or music production or whatever. Just the idea of being able to work together to create something that not just you, but potentially thousands, hundreds of thousands even potentially will love. That's inspiring in a way I cannot begin to describe, and I will always appreciate and remember fondly the time I spent and will continue to spend working with this team on this game.
Very well said.
Well
I don't think I
yes.
could have said it any better, to be honest. But yeah, that's just, I don't know, really something. Just working on something for 3 years, and you don't really get much out of it during that time, right? So like, you have some ModDB articles released, some videos released. Sometimes you like get a comment or like you get mentioned in like Lambda Generation, or I don't know, maybe Bradman gives you a shout on Twitter or something like that. That's like the feedback you get, right, over the time you spend developing the mod, right? And then at the end you release it, and then it just gets really large, right? So like, we had the workshop demo at first, which was already pretty large, and I think it's one of the biggest workshop maps on EasyToon. And yeah, so that was, I think, the first time like the larger Entropy Zero space took notice. And then with the release, of course, and I guess also with the upcoming Mod of the Year thing, all through the help of the Entropy Zero team. Really, we couldn't have done it without them, at least in that regard. But also, aside from that, right? So like, one of the Blixie one, they have been a huge help during development, and of course, our own team members from the Easy team, like Krellick and CW, have immensely helped this team, and this mod become what it is. And I'm just really glad and thankful for their contribution. And of course, we can't also not mention, or I should say, our playtesters who made this thing happen, right? So all our voice actors and everything. So like, we had Frost coming for the last few rounds. We had Krellick as a playtester as well, of course. We had Arzidat, we had Takarish, we had Lambda, who is also working on Contamination Zero at the moment. We had Clatronics, a huge help throughout development, really. And then, yeah, of course, also our voice actors, Spooks, Blue Soldier, Mazikeen, or Mace, how she's also called from time to time, who is also working on some other big projects, as last I checked. Yeah, and CW as a voice actor as well. And Trivi, lastly, for Victor, who did all his takes and like all his Victor lines in 1 minute, I think, which is impressive considering the quality of the lines. Mark Zero, of course, also for our coding, right? So like, when we put back in for the first time as a working NPC, that was so huge for us, right? Because before it was all just map hacks, right? We were doing the NPC in map and in Hammer with like, it was an NPC Combine Soldier, I think, and then just replacing that with an actually NPC that works on its own and thinks on its own. That's just really impressive. And
I was really proud of that.
yeah, right?
I remember when I started telling people, and I was just really proud of myself because when did this happen? Like,
I think it happened like
pretty early, like when we were still working on chapter 1, right?
I mean, I think we were starting like, okay, so like, we were on chapter 3 at the time, right? Because I remember implementing Beck as a Combine Soldier at first and then replacing him, right? So the first map where Beck is featured as an actual NPC and we're not talking about the new office because that came later. So like the very first map. So that would be chapter 3. So we were at chapter 3 at the first rain map in chapter 3, I think, and that has to be in like 2021 or 2020 still. I'm not even sure, to be honest. It's I'd have to check my notes on that.
I'm looking through YouTube, and I'm just seeing tons of videos about Entropy Zero, and that's just amazing. I never really thought that I would see so much content about this.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also a quick note on the team side of things. I want to give a special shout out to CW3D for helping. I think not just me, but everyone with streamlining the recording process of the vocoder we use for our CP characters, because he created a macro that you can use in. I'm not sure it's only in Audacity, but I use Audacity. I'm sure it's usable in other voice recording audio software, but it was a massive help in streamlining the process, and I have a great amount of gratitude to him. He's just honestly just talented voice actor, talented musician. Just like everyone on this team's talented. Again, there's only so many times I can say I'm proud of being on this team before it starts to get old.
Yeah, I think we've done enough of the self-complimenting and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all just very, I don't know, it was great seeing it all come together, and then finally seeing it release and seeing how the reception was. But I would also say there is that kind of a downside to it. Basically, what I would recommend any modder who's planning on releasing something, don't put your expectations too high, right? So don't think that this will completely transform your life. It will definitely be a confidence boost, and it might even help you kickstart your career in some shape or form. I mean, I don't know about you, Spooks, but I think Uprising probably helped you with more modding work. I'm not sure.
I would say Uprising. I do have people pushing me sometimes, but even then when I'm not approached too much, I would still say Uprising has helped me decently. But that is a very good point. Always keep it. Don't beat yourself down, but always keep it real with yourself. Keep your expectations honest and simple.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, honestly, at most, I was expecting a couple reviews, maybe a playthrough, because I just really wanted to see, first reactions, because when we launched the first playtest, I just had so much fun watching one of and the rest just reacting to all the shenanigans that happen in the mod, and I just enjoy this so much.
Yeah, I know this is probably to be expected as it was a video on Entropy Zero as a whole, but seeing Entropy Zero Uprising appear in a pyrocynical video still doesn't feel real to me.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. I don't know, I remember watching his stuff a few years ago, I think. Not actively, but from time to time. Yeah, he was definitely on my radar back then. And I never would have thought that he would mention my name on there, right? So
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I actually have a really funny story about that. I don't remember what I was doing exactly, but I was just living, just chilling, doing something. I can't remember exactly what. But one of my artist friends, they DM'd me and said, "Did you voice act in a Half-Life mod?" And I went, "Yeah, why?" They went, "Holy shit, you're in a pyrocynical video." It still feels so fucking wild to me to see my name in the credits appear in a video by a content creator as large as pyrocynical. That is just, it feels, I can only say unreal so many times, so unbelievable. I believe that's a different word to spice up the vocabulary.
It is really amazing.
I will, however, mention, right? So you will, when you release a mod, I mean, okay, so Spooks probably wouldn't have known this firsthand.
Yeah, I don't know this. I'm only a voice actor at this moment in time.
But when you release a mod, you have to expect all these people who are not able to extract right? I was not prepared for that. How many times I had to tell people how to extract a zip file and how to read instructions and stuff. So you have to be prepared for that, and you just, I don't know, you have to be patient about it.
A lot of people also had problems because we used 7-zip, I think, right?
Yeah, so like I think
For some reason,
the compression that was used was like all the versions of WinRAR, and the basic Windows extractor couldn't handle it. I don't know. I don't remember. We'll hopefully fix it if we ever do an update. We are planning to do an
It's
update.
really weird because
But yeah.
I could swear that my laptop came with 7-zip, like
Yeah, no, it
by default.
It didn't. But yeah, I don't know how you
Oh.
can live without 7-zip, but I don't know, that's a topic for another time. But I also just wanted to mention, like, people in real life don't really know what a mod is most of the time, right? So like, especially if you make a mod of a mod, right? So like, it's pretty difficult to explain to people what we've actually been doing here all this time.
You have to really start from the beginning, like
Yeah, without sounding completely crazy, right? So, yeah, if you tell this to people in real life and they aren't impressed by it, don't take that too seriously.
My parents asked me once what I was working on, and I said just it's my project, and they just wanted to know what it is exactly, and I just didn't know where to begin.
Yeah. It's like, it's, do you know the hit game Half-Life 2? Yeah, it's
Pretty underground. Pretty underground. You might not know this.
I don't know, it's difficult to explain to like people who aren't in the modding space, or like the Half-Life space, I guess. So yeah. Definitely, like, if you do a mod, don't be discouraged from the reactions you get from the people around you, right? But do listen to feedback, right? So like, if they have something, and also obviously don't completely disregard your own personal life. I guess that's the main takeaway.
First and foremost, just do a mod for yourself and your friends. Most of all, just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, don't do this thinking. Don't do this to impress someone, or maybe just do it for yourself to have fun. That's all.
Yeah, I think it has to come from within yourself, so that it can really like shine, I guess.
Yeah, as far as first mod go, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty hard. I think it's a pretty high bar that we'll have to beat with episode 2. And yeah, hopefully. I mean,
I really wonder how episode 2 will feel when it's finished, because in episode 1 you could really tell that at first it's really chaotic, right?
Yeah.
Like, things just happen from place to place, but now we have a whole plan, a whole lore written down. How things will go down.
The approach for the development is definitely different this time around, and yeah, so like, I'm very curious to see what way will be better in the end, right? And like, how it will feel. But yeah, as I said before, if I were to do episode 1 again, definitely the same way still. I would not start with a document writing everything down, because that kind of limits yourself too much. Of course, do plan a story ahead, right? So like, once you get in the groove, do think about a story, but not like, be open for change, right? So like, don't stick too hard on your initial vision.
Yeah, just try to like make it more loose to make space for changes.
Yeah. All right. Does anyone still have something to say?
I do.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I love Traitor Cops.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to go somewhere with this.
Okay.
So at first, I wasn't exactly sure how they will be how they will be taken, like how people will react to this new faction. I hope that they will be believable enough to fit in the mod, right? And when we were making them, when we were making backstory about this faction, I just found myself that I fell in love with that faction. I just really like it, and I remember that a long time ago, before we released the episode 1, we were even talking about episode 2, and I remember that I once said that I'd like to make a bonus map at the end of episode 2 where we actually play as some random traitor cop. And I really hope that maybe at the end of development I'll get to that. I'll make one small map with this theme.
I do have. I don't have something to say, but I do want to shout out some people. Just well, the first things first, I want to shout out Breadman. Without him and the Entropy Zero team, of course, none of this would have been possible. And just wanted to say that I appreciate the work you do, and just Entropy Zero as a whole greatly. It's a very important mod series to me. Secondly, goes without saying. Secondly, Dover Courts, who is an artist who has made a decent amount of Entropy Zero Uprising fan artwork, and it was and some of their videos were my first exposure to not just Entropy Zero Uprising artwork, but just artwork of a character I voice for. So, and that led me to discovering all the other fan art that is out there about Entropy Zero Uprising. And I just want to say, keep up the good work. We appreciate you. And thirdly, Land the Generation for saying I was a good voice actor one time. But yes, anyways, actually, yeah, Land the Generation is pretty good, pretty chill. I just wanted to shout you out. But anyways, yes, that is all from me. Just wanted to shout out some cool people in the community.
Very nice. Okay, I think with that said, yeah, I think we're done. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough in general.
I linked some of the videos that just were memorable to me.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention something, but I realised I said it earlier on in the video. But again, like, I know we talked about like the expectations that we're gonna have to face when it comes to episode 2, but of course I'm not gonna spoil anything. But from what I have seen, I think there was a good chance it could meet expectations. Like of course I would still say keep expectations realistic, but what I have seen, I am very, very excited to see put into action.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Agreed. Thank you all for watching this playthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative.
Yes, thank you all for watching.
We'll see you in episode 2, I guess. Or earlier
than
that.
Exactly.
We'll see. Alright. Have fun.